So in this part, we are going to discuss about the expression and presentation of innovative and creative ideas as a part of the transforming yourself to become a new age law professional. So I discussed in the earlier session that we have to focus a lot on the research because it's a very important skill for the law professional, because everything starts from a research. So any client will come to you, he will bring certain facts. From that fact, we have to find out the relevant field, whether it's civil law, criminal law, or it is going to be filed at district court or at the high court or supreme court, or maybe part of the tribunal, or not at all file a case. Because from the facts, if there is no right is violated, in that case, there is no point filing the suit in the court of law, because the court will reject the application. So it means that unless until you understand properly that what is the fact in issue, what is the violation of the legal rights, what is the loss, damage, and then what are the particular violations will be having the remedy in law, and which court you have to file the case, you cannot survive. So that's why, and then in the complex cases, we have to do a serious legal research and find out that what are the relevant laws are applicable. So best lawyer is that who is going to cover the case in several laws. So then making the case very complicated and complicated. So if a case is very complicated from your side, it become very strong case. In that part, other party will be having serious challenge for you. And also you should try to cover all the areas. For example, if you are not covering some of the areas, and that area may be very strong for you, and you miss that point when filing the suit, in that case you will be losing the case. So the whole idea is that how to do quality research, how to express, and how to present. And also we are showing innovative and creative ideas. So you might be knowing that there is a Bloom's taxonomy. So Benjamin Bloom is a very famous name in the world. He has brought a lot of research and in the learning process, and he has provided that lot of levels of learning, and he has given a lot of grades that how learning starts and what is the highest level of learning. So as per Benjamin Bloom's, the highest level of learning is a kind of creation. If you are able to create something, some knowledge, new thoughts, new ideas, you have gone the highest level of learning. What I feel in the legal education, every student should be able to create something new. He can create something new, ideas, new thoughts, because what I said, that in every case you have to find out that what is going to be the outcome. And then by research, so this end of the research is that kind of some new creation. That's why we have taken the project model. In the project model, everybody has been given a projects, and then small projects, just to start learning the research process and how to bring the research skill, improve the research skill. So Bloom's has given various levels, and also he is focusing on the verbs. So what is to be activity based thing, what is to be actions. So it was earlier kind of the not the activity based. Now after the Benjamin Bloom's kind of the taxonomy, and then few of the authors came forward and they have then amended the Bloom's taxonomy, and now they are saying that it should be activity based, it should be kind of action based. So all the learning should be a verb and it should be action based. Then you are going to create something new. And also because now the cases are coming very complex nature, it is not covering only very small area, because the way awareness are growing, and also we are going to see a right based society. In that case, everybody will be able to try to defend their rights. The way the Supreme Court of India has gone, interpreting the right to life, personal liberty, and then again expanding the entire right to life with the connection to Article 19, the freedom of speech and expression, the right to equality, 14, 15, 16, in all the areas. It means that it is very fast growing. And also we have seen that balancing between the fundamental right to life and the DPSP, that the Directive Principle of State Policy, that balancing is also very important. So then court is go on, in fact, interpreting and expanding the areas of the fundamental rights and DPSP. So unless until you are able to do proper research and also express that research properly, you cannot become a good lawyer. Now, the how to do a research. So doing a research is a very great process. So what we say that for any research, you have to first find out what is the problem, and then unless there is a problem, nothing is required. So how to fix a problem? Generally, for example, if anybody is going to a doctor, it means that that patient has some problem, so he went to a doctor to find the solution. Same way that if a lawyer has a client, it means that client has got certain problems, so he came to the lawyer to find the solution. Okay, so first and foremost idea is that how to find out the what is the problem for which the client has come to the lawyer for finding the solution. So filtering out the problem, and then from the problem you have to filter out the issues. So problem is the major kind of the action, major problem. For example, somebody was faced a crime by some other person. Okay. For example, a patient has gone to a doctor, and then the patient is saying to doctor that he has always got a pain, stomach pain. So problem is that he is always getting stomach pain, but this problem may have certain issues, the reasons for the pain. It may be overeating, it may be less eating because of the gas, it may be very kind of chronic disease, maybe some kind of cancer is there, some kind of tuberculosis there in the intestine. Okay, or he may have certain financial issues, or he may have certain personal issues, psychological issues. He is suffering from some tension, frustration, so it is causing the stomach pain. So these are the possible factors that is causing the stomach pain, or the issues or the reasons for the problem. So main problem is stomach pain. Same way, for example, some client has come to you for the breach of contract, that the some contract was breached, and in that case you have to find out that the problem is breach of contract, but it may have several issues why the breach was happened. Breach may happen by intentional action by the other party because he may not be willing to perform. You might have heard about that NTPC case, in the Reliance case, where there was a kind of one party was intentionally was not willing to perform the contract because it was the supply of the coal to the company, and then the coal prices has gone very high, and the other party has agreed to supply the coal for 100 years. So the one party felt that if they go on supplying the coal for 100 years on this low price, then there is going to be big loss to the company. So what they have decided to breach the contract, they stop supplying the coal. So what happened? Then other parties filed suit for breach of contract. So what my point is that in certain point of time, the parties are willingly not performing the contract, and they're trying to kind of the play mischief and misuse the position. But sometime what happened, the party was not able to perform the contract. That's why because and then because of the condition is not suited. For example, in the COVID period, in this last 6 months, there are a lot of breach of contract, but some of the breach of contract because of the impossibility of performance of the situation of the COVID-19, because the railway is not running, flights are not running, okay, transports are not available. So even if you want to supply the goods are ready as per the description and quality, but you cannot supply the goods to the party because there is no transport available. Then if other party is filing suit for breach of contract of not supply the goods and services, then you can say we are willing to perform, but because there is no transport, and the transport was banned by the government of India or subsequent governments, so that's why it is not in our hand. So there are different kind of impossibility of performance, and sometimes people are willingly not performing, trying to take the condition benefit of the situation. Even in COVID-19, some of the parties are trying to take the benefit of the COVID-19. They can do performance but not performing. They want to misuse the timing and all. So my point is that if a client will come to you and the client has a problem, and then from the problem you have to find out what are the issues and factors, reasons that had caused the problem, and then from that particular reasons and issues you can then try to find out what object you want to achieve. Because sometime what happen, some of the clients will like to take the revenge. Okay, so they are not interested in kind of damages or kind of the money payment. They want the person who has done a crime, he should go to the he should go behind the bars because they want to teach him a lesson. It's a kind of vindication is there, a kind of you want to make them punished, so they will not be feeling to do certain kind of the violations in future. And sometimes the client is more concerned about their money. They are not willing whether the other party, the fraudulent party, will be getting any punishment, going to jail, or given the serious kind of the pain, but they are more concerned about their money return because they are from the business class or from the corporate world. They want to see that the shareholders should not have any loss, company should survive, they become financially sound. So you have to see that what is the client objective. He want to solve the case, he want to delay the process. Sometimes the client will come, just he want to create a trouble for other party. For example, in a lot of patent cases, if you're a competing company, what you will do, you will try to, if somebody is trying to get a patent, and because there's a pre-grant opposition, post-grant opposition. So in a post-grant opposition, or maybe after the granting of the patent, pre-grant opposition, the patent office will publish your research in official journal, and there are 11 grounds for objection, 25 class 1, 25 class 2. So what happens, sometimes competing companies, without any kind of default in the process or any kind of the loss of the novelty and all, they will just create a trouble in the process. So the competing company will not get the patent in time. They want to delay the process. So their interest is that the other party should not get the patent in time, because that is competing company. If the patent got delayed, they are automatic market beneficiary because they are having the dominant role in the market. If other party will get patent, they will be able to launch the products and they may be market leader. Okay, so you have to find out what is the objective for that particular of the client, what he want to achieve from that particular thing. And then if you just know the objective, then you have to find out that what is the kind of the process for collection of the documents. So the process of the research. In that case, you have to find out that whether you are able to get all the information at one place, or the all documentation or supporting evidence, how to collect those evidences, you have to plan. And also you have to plan the sub goals, goal number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to plan for the sub goals. So you have to chapterize the entire process, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and all these things. Then you have to expect the solution. So this is called as hypothesis. What is going to be the expected solution of the problem? Because if you are going to see that there is a very least possibility that you are going to get judgment in your favor, then better not to file the suit. And also we have to see damages. If the entire suit value of the entire suit is, for example, the 10 lakh rupees, okay, and then if you fight the case, even if you are going to win the case, you are going to get hardly 1 lakh rupees damages. And if you lose the case, you're going to lose already 10 lakh rupees. One already you have lost. So that's why there should be a kind of expected outcome, or you can say hypothesis. What is going to be the outcome of the case? Okay, whether case should be filed or not to be filed. Sometime the good lawyers, they will tell, please do not file the case because your case is very, very weak and you have maximum chance to lose. Even if you're going to win, the damages are very, very, very less amount. And in that case, better not to file the case. Sometimes time is very, very important. So other party want a very, very fast disposal of the cases. Okay. In that case, you have to find out whether you want to solve the case in the normal court, go to district court, high court, Supreme Court, or you want to go for ADR mechanism, want to go for the arbitration, mediation, or conciliation process. And also you have to see the pricing, which process has less time, which process has the fast time. So these kind of the things will be coming automatically in your mind if you are a good researcher, you are having the good planning. So the case management, so you have to plan the entire case as a researcher, and then you have to kind of put a timeline that when we are going to plan the entire thing, when going to be solved. Okay, and also in the entire process must see the pocket of the client. So if the client has come to you, he's very emotional person, he very vindictive person, he want to take the revenge from other party. but the client itself is not very financially sound and he want to file a very big suit. What will happen? Because he's very and the strong emotions, he want to file the suit, but how long he is going to sustain and go on paying the court fees, all these things, all the expenses of the court, and then what will happen? In the meantime, he will leave the case and you will be in the problem. Okay. So also you have to see the pocket of the client, that what is his pocket allows and how much long he can sustain. Why I'm saying that? Because this is a part of the research. So if you are from the very beginning in the student life, a good time for all of you to try to develop the research skill. If you're a very research skill, if your mind is very structured, very planned, you can do a lot of management. In that case, you can be a very successful in your professional life. But after the 5 years, once you go to practice, there will be no time. So this 5 years time, you have to properly utilize and try to develop your skills by engaging in very small projects, by doing the a lot of research works, by getting the involving in a big projects. Sometimes some faculty have a government of India projects or any ministry projects. These are big projects, and sometimes they want to engage you for data collection or maybe report writing or for coordination purpose. And then the data collection also one of the very important skill. How to collect data? Where is the data? So once you get a case, you are able to decide that okay, this is the criminal case, and this will file in district court. Okay, and this is there is a lot of precedents are there, but how to find the relevant material? So you have to then go to library. In our time, it was very challenging that to go to library and find out the relevant case, because there were no online journals in our time. I'm talking about 1995, 25 years back. Only we have the SEC, only we have the Supreme Court cases and AIRs, and also All England reports, ISCR, all the foreign journals. But these are printed copy. And then searching is very time taking to finding out relevant cases. But thanks to the technology, thanks to the online journals, now we have very, very refined online journals. So data collection and finding out the relevant material, supporting material is now very easy game. So also we have subscribed very shortly that we have now SEC online, HANE online, and also with remote access. So all of you already having the access to the online journals from anywhere. Any one of you can access anytime. So that is very good part, because if you are able to find out the relevant materials very quickly, it is going to save a lot of time. And it is not only you can get the relevant material. So if it is a, for example, the breach of contract case, you can get lot of breach of contract cases, Indian cases, foreign cases, high court cases, Supreme Court cases, and also even you can find out. So I was just saying in the morning that you have to know the pulse of the judge as well as pulse of the courts. So even you can go on further filtering and having the relevant cases, because if X judge will be going to hear the case, X judge has certain kind of personality, certain attitude, and also he believes in certain things. If you are trying to bring the relevant cases, that judge may like. So even you can also filter that this particular judge, in how many cases, what kind of judgment he has delivered, and what judgment you should cite to get your judgment in your favor. So this is the kind of benefit right now you can buy, you can get by using the online journals. And also there are a lot of AI is used in this process to filter out the relevant cases, year wise, high court, Supreme Court, plus it can tell that judge how many judgments, what kind of judgment he has given. So this way, even data collection, even the collection of the cases, that the study material for you is very, very easy. Even if you're not getting the supporting case in India, you can go to the Harvard Law Journal, you can go to the other foreign reports, even you can cite. For example, there is a concept of justice, equity, and good conscience. If you cannot find the precedent, the earlier cases, still you can select that depending on the justice, equity, good conscience, what can be the judgment, what law ought to be. So in that case, you can go to a lot of articles, maybe a lot of authors, they have written the articles about the particular problem and scenario, what should be the justice. So I told in the morning that now this is the era of justice education. So that education which promote justice will be preferred. So students should be taught what is just, what is not just, and how to promote justice. So this entire legal education has become now the justice education, because ultimately the main object of law is to provide the justice. and how that justice can be delivered, that is the catchword right now. So I was telling that because of the online journals, online resources, it is very easy to find out the relevant cases, relevant materials. And then the now next stage is that how to do the presentation part. If you see the earlier practice, there used to be a very lengthy, long judgments. If you go and see the Keshavananda Bharati case, it is in around 1100 pages. So in earlier days, judges were trying to showcase their writing skill and power, showcase very complex and complicated writings were there. But now the trend is changing. Now the focus is that judge should write very small, very clear, okay, and transparent and very easy judgment. So anybody can read and find the what is the law delivered in particular judgment, what is the obiter dicta, what is the ratio decidendi. So you can easily cite that case in a future cases. So that's why if writing something in a very less word is a very complicated. Because if you go on writing pages and pages, you can go on putting lot of unwanted material. But if you're asked to write something and you are given very less number of the words, then shows your the potential and competency. Now, how in a very less number of the words, you're able to provide the actual writing and actual thing you're saying. You're saying the same thing in a very small number of the words. So that is the great kind of the quality of a judge. Same way, if you are drafting a kind of the WS or the plaint, or you're going to file a suit, whatever you are drafting, you have to draft very clear language, very unambiguous language. You should be very clear what you are demanding, what remedy you want from the court. That's why the participation in the moot courts and all is very important. Be kind of a lot of support to you, because in the moot court you are writing the memorial. In the memorial writing, you're in fact writing the same thing. That's why in a real practice you write in the WS, or you are writing in the plaints and all. So that practice for the writing memorial will be great help to you to become the good writer. And also now this is the era of the kind of networking and branding. So you'll be learning the art of research. You'll be engaging in the lot of application-based learning process. You'll be participating in the moot court, the client counseling, the trial advocacy competitions, and also you'll be writing the memorials, and also you'll be searching the journals to find relevant cases. And also in the meantime, please try to develop the art for the kind of how to present properly, because the presentation is an art, and if in a less word you can properly present your case, it will be a great help, and then it will be deciding factor. Now, because in this process what will happen, you will become a creative person, you become very innovative person. So the entire process is that if you go on working for 3, 4, 5 years, you as a person, as an individual, become very creative person. You are trying to find out the creative solution of the problem, because I told that every case is a new case, and you as a person, you have to find out the creative solutions. So what is creative solution and how you can become very creative? That's why we say that the lawyers, being the lawyer, they should be close to very nature. They have to be reading the novels. They have to go and see even the Badrinath during the initial lectures. He mentioned that you have to go and see movies. In several movies, they were trying to showcase the arguments, cases, and also how the lawyers found solutions. It can be also great help to you. So all of you, please try to develop your creativity. Try to become very creative, because if you are going to develop the creativity, you can easily find the creative solution of the problems. And the creativity will not develop in one day. You have to go on engaging yourself. So be very open mind, be trying to accept the nature, and try to utilize your this particular skill, become very creative. So that's why there's a strongly for law and literature. So you have to be also very strong in the literature and develop the creativity. Now we say this era of the innovation. So you have to be also very innovative. Try to go on innovating your way of working, your way of argumentation, way of presentation. So always try to become a very innovative, because if you go on the innovating kind of your thoughts, you will be ahead than others. And also you have to publish those ideas. So I suggested that you must go to a lot of the legal skill oriented competitions, and also go to the seminar and conference. So there will be seminar, conference, workshops. So generally workshops are provided for the application based process. You'll be engaging and finding some solutions. Also there are the seminars and the conferences where you are supposed to write a paper and go and make a presentation. So if you are, and all the seminar conference will be organized on particular problem, a particular issue. A particular issue is there where the seminars are happening. So you try to go and participate, because before any seminar and conference they will ask your abstract. So abstract is a very around 200 words in condensed form. What are the research you are going to provide? What is the problem? What is the issue? What is going to be expected outcome? Okay, what is the process of research? And you, once you write the abstract, if it is accepted, you will be given chance to submit a full paper. If you are writing the full paper, you will be further doing research and finding some solution of the problem. And if you go and present in the presentation, again you're going to increase your skill of the presentation, confidence, facing the public, able to answer the queries raised by the participant. And also this is the chance for kind of the networking. So as a lawyer, you must know that how to network, how to make your own brand, how to create the networking clientele. We say clientele. Generally, what happens as per the law, as per the Bar Council of India rules, lawyers cannot do advertisements. So if you're a lawyer, you cannot do advertisement that promote yourself. So these are the indirect methods of promoting and branding yourself. If you're going to seminar, conferences, making the presentation, people will see and recognize you, your work, and then slowly your branding will grow, and you exchange your cards, exchange the mobile numbers. This way, sometime lot of sharing of the resources, the sharing of the cases, okay, uh, recommendation of your name by the other lawyers, you can recommend that lawyer. This way, I think this is the era of networking and collaboration and coordination. If you go to seminar, conferences, go to several competitions, you'll be developing your networking, and that network will be a great support to you for kind of the future the activities. And also present in the good journals of law. So currently there are a lot of good journals, starting from the ABDC to SCI journals to Scopus Index journals, and also we have this UGC care list. So I suggest all of you, because the NAC, during NAC inspection, they do a lot of importance to Scopus Index journals. So currently there are more than 599 listed law journals in Scopus Index. These are very high quality journals. So please try to publish in those journals. What you can do during your the part of the academic process, you may be given a kind of projects, some essay writing and all. Convert these essays and the projects in a kind of the article or paper, and then you submit to those international journals, Scopus Index journals. Even I suggest to all of you to coordinate with, collaborate with the faculty. You can also publish a joint paper. This way, you are bonding with your teacher, as well as you are also indirectly teacher is also branding you in the market, because every teacher will not take every student, because teacher will be definitely doing some kind of due diligence to understand you are a good student, you are well behaved, you are intelligent, and then he may be giving you chance to publish together as a joint author. If you publish in the good journals, what happened, these all the top class journals, mostly it is kept in the high court, supreme courts, going to all the academicians, all the good lawyers. These are linked to all the online journals. So if you publish good articles on the new problems, emerging problems, and then your articles may be read by those these lawyers, judges and all. And if you go for any kind of employment or any interview, you the person who came to hire you, he might have already read your article. So it will be kind of a proven ability. No further interview is required. If the person who came for interview, already he has read your article, he has already in the understood about you, your the academic standards, okay, your level of knowledge. So no further interview is required. So these kind of the ways will be able to support you to build up your reputation in the market, and already you are going to do your branding in the market. And then this will be kind of a deciding factor for you once you are going to go for the internships and also go for the hiring process, because already you are having something additional and greater than the other other student at your level. And this way you can also brand at global level, because your article may be read by the other law student in other law school, other faculty, also may be read by the other foreign student in the foreign universities. Sometimes they may call you and take a request that can we cite your article in our LLM or doctoral work or our projects. And this way, if they will citing you, you will get further kind of leverage in the market, because if your work is more cited, it will have more impact factor. You will be getting more recognition in the market. So I think this way you can express your thoughts, you can present your thoughts in a very creative way, very innovative way, and this is going to be giving you the lot of leverage in the market as a law professional, because every lawyer is required to be very creative and very innovative to find the creative solutions of the problems.